What's up, everybody? Welcome to Buzzworthy TV. And I'm the girl, Lady T. And today we are going to talk about from the bottom up. Yes! First of all, let me say thank you to Nikki Gilbert and Queen Latifah for bringing to television a show with such riveting, emotional, and relatable television. These stories are amazing. And I'm glad you guys are bringing this to the forefront, and I'm loving it. So let's get into the episode, y'all. Okay, so the episode starts off with Sarah meeting up with Christine Beatty, because Sarah has decided to come to Atlanta. She's left Tony and her two daughters back in Detroit, and she's come to Atlanta to try to get some things going in regards to her career. And she's meeting up with Christine Beatty, and she's telling her a little bit about what happened in regards to her getting sent to jail. And you can tell that Sarah is, feeling a little down on herself. I think her actually going to jail was a wake-up call. I think Sarah never expected to be in jail, and that really shook her. And you could just tell, just by her mannerisms and just how she's determined now just to do things differently. And Christine was telling her, no matter what has happened, always remember, you have a son that's in college. You have two beautiful daughters. You have, you've accomplished so much in the music business. So whatever happens, no one can take that away from you. And don't you ever forget that. Don't you ever forget who you are. Don't let all the negative things that have happened recently have you feeling down on yourself. And I was just like, wow. I really appreciate that. I really appreciate seeing on TV two women lifting each other up and not tearing each other down, especially in this situation, because they're both going through so much. They're basically the same situation in regards to trying to rebuild their life. But they're not, trying to undercut anybody. They're just trying to uplift each other, and I love that. So then we go on to Cristal and her friends. Cristal is, at home kicking it with her friends, telling them how, she met up with the ladies, and everybody seemed cool. It's just that she was put off by Stacy. The one that she's known the longest out of all the girls, the one that she thought was her friend, was just kind of trying to throw shots at her. And she didn't appreciate that. And she also just didn't appreciate how, Stacy called herself bringing these women together, but really wasn't opening up and was just talking about superficial things. She just wasn't here for it. Her whole thing is, if we're supposed to be building each other up and try to share our stories and things of that nature, we don't need you, undercutting us and then talking about your fat ass knees. So basically she's like, that's why I stayed in my own little lane. But she was like, overall, I like the girls and I want to meet Sarah. So she's going to give it another chance. But before that, she decides to meet up with Stacy. They're going to meet up for lunch. And the first thing Stacy says when they get together is, girl, look at my knees. And off the bat, Cristal is not here for it, y'all. She just like, hold up. She was like, we don't need all this. She was like, see, this is why I can't mess with you. She was like, first of all, I thought we were here to talk about an event that you trying to put together. She was like, I am, but if I have something that I'm feeling insecure about, why should I be able to express it? She was like, look, here's the thing. every time it's time to deal with something real, you want to just, go off into some random stuff, or you want to, you don't want to talk about it. She was like, just like when we went to lunch the other day, I feel as though everybody was telling their stories, and when it came to you, you want to talk about, getting the fat removed from your knees and into your breast. And she was like, we weren't there to talk about that. We were there to share and, uplift each other. And here you go. And she was like, and then when it's time for you to share your story, you kind of cut yourself off. You don't really express what went on with you. And you go on talking about some random stuff. And I'm not here for that. She was like, I find it to be personally phony and fake. And she was like, what are you talking about? And she was like, exactly what I said. It's phony. It's fake. If you're going to share your story, share your story. Don't just sit up here and come up with all this random stuff to talk about when we got real shit going on. Hell, you got real shit going on. So let's get to it. And I'm here for Cristal. Cristal is just a real person. Yeah, she comes off a little abrasive, but she gives it to you real. She gives it to you straight, no chaser. And you gotta value people like that in your life. You gotta value people that's going to tell you how they feel, okay? And not give a damn about, not necessarily your feelings, but not giving a damn about sugarcoating it. And so I hope that Stacy can receive what Cristal is trying to tell her, because even though Cristal came off kind of harsh, she was telling her the real. Like, we're all here to support one another, and once you let your guard down, we can all be here for you. But you just, not telling your full story or want to talk about some random stuff, it ain't getting us nowhere. And then after that, we got Christine Beatty. She is dealing with trying to get some stable income. After that whole thing with Kwame, she moved to Atlanta. She's been there for 4 years, and she's had some consulting projects, but now they kind of dried up, and she's just trying to find a new source of income. And you can just tell that it's hard for her because, everybody knows her business. Everybody knows what happened. And on top of that, she has a record. She has a felony. So it's hard for her to do what she's been trained to do because ain't nobody gonna look at her. First of all, like I said, they know her business, and she got a felony. A lot of stuff that she was doing had a lot to do with politics. You can't go into politics, back into politics with a felony. So it just examines that struggle. And then we move on to Christine and Kim. They're taking their daughters with them to go see a counselor just to talk about, how they ended up where they are now and the effects that it had on them and their daughters. So they meet up with Dr. Sherry. Dr. Sherry, along with Dr. Jeff, I promise y'all, they got contracts with every reality show. But anyway, so they meet with Dr. Sherry, and the little girl, Christine's daughter, said that when she thought that her mom was going away, they said, mommy's going away for a while, but when she comes back, you can get a puppy. And she said she was so young that it didn't really hit her until her mom got ready to leave. All she kept thinking about was the puppy. And then when her mom got ready to leave, she was, holding on to her, crying, and, was just determined to not let her mom go. And I just felt so bad because I know how it is to be young and not fully understand what's going on. I mean, you kind of know, but you don't really understand. And you find out as you get older, you're like, okay, that what was going on. And then Kim's daughter is like, I missed my mom when she was gone because, I was with my grandma, and when me and my grandma would have our issues, I could always call my mom, and my mom would always come get me. And, it was hard when she left because everything just got worse. And I just felt bad. I felt bad for Christine. I felt bad for Kim. And I felt bad mostly for their daughters because they had to endure without being without a mother. And I was just like, wow, my heart goes out to those children. My heart goes out to all those children in this situation because they had to deal without being with their parents for a while. And then we end the episode with everybody meeting up because Christine wants to introduce Sarah to the ladies. So they're at this hookah bar. They're all having drinks. They all having the hookah. And I said, this is the reality for your ass, okay? They at a hookah bar just chilling. So, they at the hookah bar, and everybody is trying to hear Sarah's story, but Stacy is talking about how Cristal came to her and told her that, that maybe she was being a little abrasive the last time, and she was like, and Cristal was like, now see, this is what you're not going to do. That is not what I said. I said that you did not let people talk. And if we're going to be doing this, sharing our stories and supposed to be uplifting each other, you got to let people talk, and you got to be prepared to let your guard down. Don't act like I was just saying that this was a bad idea and that you was just so out of pocket. So they get into it, and don't nobody get to hear Sarah's story. I'm like, poor Sarah. She just sit up there with her drink and just hit the hookah like, man. Like, you could just tell Sarah's just not here for any conflict right now. Like, I think she's just had enough. I think that her and Tony have been through so much, and then with her going to jail, she just don't want to deal with no conflict right now. Like, she just can't deal with that. She just don't want to. Like, right now, she just like, look, I'm on chill mode. I ain't trying to be on, put 20 on 10. I'm just here trying to get my life back in order. So anyway, y'all, that was the episode. Again, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thoroughly encourage everybody to go check out From the Bottom Up. The only thing that I don't like is I wish it was an hour long because these stories are so compelling. And I know it's so much more to the stories that we need way more than a half an hour, and we need way more than 6 episodes. Y'all, if y'all don't have Centric, please go on Google and look it up online. But I encourage everybody to go watch From the Bottom Up. Okay, y'all. Till next time. Peace and love.